Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about final exams. Obviously, I don't dictate what you'll give as a final exam, and you might not even get to dictate what you do as a final exam. Maybe you have specific proficiency targets. Maybe you're the one who measures them. Maybe your district has specific exams that the kids are supposed to take. Maybe you do something like Apple or Stamp, or maybe you have complete autonomy. I'm not sure. Just like in all of these materials, you will find very little that is traditional grammar. Now, I really don't have anything against traditional grammar, but it really is research based. We develop proficiency through acquiring grammar and language. We do that naturally through input and then practicing all those things that we learn to do specific tasks. And there are a lot of traditional things I really enjoy doing. I like grammar worksheets. I like verb conjugations. I think they're important to teach. However, you have to be judicious with the little bit of time that you have. And then also, I think it's important to recognize something I learned very early in my teaching career is that as we learn languages or acquire languages, which really we're doing both, as we progress, we all make certain types of errors at different points. So, to the idea that we can correct errors out of that is antithetical to that, just doesn't work. And so, if I have to choose between doing grammar exercises and doing proficiency activities, I'm going to do proficiency activities, firstly. And secondly, I have long enjoyed traditional textbook activities, the tests, for example. Some of those grammar heavy tests I really like, but I would choose, given a choice, I would not give them to students. I might give them to students as a group project. Hey, let's fill this out. What are the right answers? So that they're all talking and sort of building their knowledge about it. But to give them, they're supposed to, fill in the blank with the right vocabulary and the right accent. Perhaps that's worked for you. I felt that it just the juice wasn't worth the squeeze. So I wanted to share with you some ideas for final assessments. Again, it's going to be dictated by so many things, but I'll start with what I think is ideal and get into what, you know, some other ideas. Ideally, there would be an external assessment, and students can get their feedback at the end of the year. This is how they did. And of course, that's going to usually have to happen, a few weeks at least before the end of the year. Or maybe you have, an actual rater that you have access to, and you're getting them sort of, the same week. I'm not really sure. Where all of our situations are different, but that would be my ideal situation. And really, I trained in language proficiency many years ago and with the Center for Applied Linguistics, and it was so worth it. So knowing exactly what those targets were, those proficiency targets, and then being able to assess them myself. So basically, first choice would be an official rating done by somebody else. Second would be a rating done or estimated by me. Next would be a project. I think those work really, really nicely at the end of the year. They're change of pace, they're different, and they all have to be proficiency based. So here are some ideas, just some tasks to practice what students did throughout this course. And there are some different ways to use this. You might want to copy and paste these in a wheel of names and make this interactive where, put these tasks in, it lands on one of these things, and that's what they do. You may want to cut these up. You may want to give them an online recorder like Vocaroo and have them go through and do these tasks. You may want to have them pick maybe 5 tasks that they'll do, or you tell them, I will pick one from each one of these things, whatever is doable and manageable for you. So I hope that this is helpful to you and that you enjoyed building proficiency in language 2.